some more organizational input. So you can find all of the material of today's talks online at the eras.mtm.org. And you will also find the videos online until November. And all the slides, all the material is being prepared so that it's online in just a bit. I got a nod. So it's true what I told. And also make sure that you will check out the virtual venue. And we've also prepared some interviews with the people who have a little fair stand outside. So the video material will also be available in a bit. Now, I will ask Gabriele on stage because his Italian is better than mine because I speak none of it. And he will take over this afternoon part of the EAWS International Symposium. We will see each other after the symposium. So I wish you good luck, have fun, and enjoy.
Thank you. Is it active? Yeah. Okay. So I'm still here. Sorry for you. Also this year, I have no slides. I asked you for your patience for 7 minutes. I'm going to read a message to introduce the subject of the day. No? Yeah. Now it's much better. Yes. Hello? Can you hear me now? Yeah. It seems that it's okay now. You fixed my ear. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly honored to stand before you today at this incredible summit. My name is Gabriele, and I bring with me over 30 years of invaluable manufacturing experience. In the last 12 years, I have embarked on a remarkable journey with PwC. But before that, my career took a significant turn when I spent 11 years within the German MTM group. Throughout these 3 decades, my professional life has been passionately centered around manufacturing improvement. I have had the privilege of witnessing the industry evolve, adapt to new challenges, and embrace innovative solutions. It's been an incredible journey that has allowed me to grow both personally and professionally, and I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity I have had. As we step into the new year, I'm excited to announce 2 new professional challenges that will capture my passion and dedication. First, the launch and development of SMARTT Valley, a center of expertise, research, and innovation in the manufacturing sector. Based in my hometown of Varese, we are collaborating closely with the local stakeholders, and you will hear more about it during the event. SMARTT Valley will focus on applied research in areas such as ergonomics, safety, circularity of materials, and energy efficiency. We are already working on projects like EAWS 2.0, which will be presented shortly. Our goal is to bridge the gap between research and practical implementation with a strong emphasis on sustainability and innovation. Second step, starting in 2024, I will be working with the One MTM network to evolve our value proposition. We aim to expand into broader horizons, including upstream product development through modularization and standardization, and downstream execution of efficient assembly line design. This expansion will place us in a wider and more competitive market, emphasizing lean engineering and manufacturing, with a focus on creating safe healthy and efficient work systems while also prioritizing the social aspects of the factory. In the business world. Now let's dive into the heart of the matter. I want to discuss the social aspects contained within the ESG, environmental, social, and governance framework. ESG is not just a trendy buzzword. It's a moral compass guiding business toward responsible and sustainable practices. The S in ESG, representing social, is a critical component that highlights a company's impact on society. It includes labor practices, human rights, diversity and inclusion, and community engagement. As we navigate the complexities of the modern business landscape, it's crucial that we pay attention to these social aspects of ESG. By doing so, we can foster inclusive workplaces, uphold human rights, and make meaningful contributions to our communities. And here is the remarkable part. In my years of experience have taught me that these social factors are not just ethically commendable, they are also financially prudent. They drive long-term sustainability and resilience. I'm thrilled to be part of the MTM network, where we can exchange ideas, insights, and experiences related to ESG and its social dimensions. Together, we can make a positive impact on our organizations, our communities, and the world at large. But our journey towards sustainable productivity doesn't stop with awareness and intentions. It requires a deliberate transformation. This brings me to the concept of Bella Factory. Bella Factory is more than just a term. It's a vision for the future of manufacturing. It's the belief that a factory can be beautiful in its design, operations, impact, and sustainability. We aim to create manufacturing facilities that are not only efficient, but also environmentally friendly, socially responsible, and ethically sound. To achieve Bella Factory status, we must take a holistic approach. We must infuse sustainability into every aspect of our manufacturing processes, from sourcing raw materials to the well-being of our workforce and our engagement with the communities where we operate. We are not merely creating profit centers. We are designing centers of positive change. Throughout this summit, we have the privilege of learning from experts who will share the concepts, experiences, and compliance limits to help us design and implement this exciting transformation journey toward what I call a Bella Factory. We will explore strategies to reduce our environmental footprint, enhance our social impact, and strengthen our governance structures to ensure ethical and responsible practices. As we delve into these discussions and presentations, I urge you to keep an open mind and embrace new ideas and perspectives. Sustainability and productivity are not opposing forces. They are partners in progress. By aligning our manufacturing practices with the principles of ESG and striving for Bella Factory status, we can contribute to a more sustainable and prosperous future for all. In conclusion, I'm truly honored to be here among such accomplished individuals and experts who share a common goal of advancing sustainable productivity. Let's make the most of this summit, engage in meaningful discussions, and take away actionable insights that will drive positive change in our organizations and industries. Together, we can create a brighter and more sustainable future. Thank you. And let's begin this transformation journey toward Bella Factory. And now let's come into the real word, and by handing over to my colleague, we have, short presentations to touch all the aspects I mentioned. And the first speech will tell us shortly about what is SMARTT Valley, which I mentioned a few minutes ago. And then we have the short touch about the content of SMARTT Valley. So we will tell you how we are organizing and setting up our academy, and the other pillar, important pillar, which is the ecosystem of innovation. So, Rachele, please do your work.
Hi, my name is Rachele Sessa. I'm General Director in Fondazione Ergo, and I live in a small country town in the area of Varese, not so far from Milan, in the north area of Italy. Varese is really a wonderful place to live, since there are a lot of green areas. A wonderful lake is really an amazing place. Varese has always had a manufacturing vocation. And indeed is often called the city with wings, due to the fact that there are a lot of companies in aerospace industry. But in the last 10 years, something changed. Something happened probably after the crisis of 2008, and Varese became less and less attractive for youngers, for institutions, for companies, for investors. So 2 years ago, with Gabriele, Fondazione Ergo, and all the team, we decided to do something to change this path of decreasing, and to try to make for Varese a project to change this trend. So we after a lot of talks with all the stakeholders, with youngers, with companies, we identify and realize the importance to create a space for manufacturing. What is it? Okay. A space for manufacturing, and this project we call, and now we present today here is thank you, is SMARTT Valley. SMARTT Valley is a space for manufacturing and stands for academy, research, and tech transfer. The first is based on 3 pillars. The first one is the academy, in particular the experimental academy. We are thinking to a really experienced academy that responds to the evolving needs from the local factories. In particular, we are thinking to create new jobs that have a strong emphasis on digital, tech, and sustainability practices. The second pillar is the research and development area. We are thinking to create a lab to attract talent, and not only local talent, but also to connect globally with research center, university that has expertise and knowledge on ergonomics, work analysis, health and safety, to create and sustain the good productivity, and also the Bella Factory with innovation. The third pillar is the tech transfer pillar, so is the service typically for small and medium companies to support the transformation. And we will see the first pillar, the experiential academy, with one after in the second speech, and also the tech transfer pillar with Luca Passoni that is connected. Why we think that this project is really unique? Due to the fact that we are not only thinking to a physical space, but we are thinking to create an ecosystem that is putting together research center, university, startup, manager and institutions, small and medium companies. All together to sustain the local innovation and the local competitiveness, but also to create the global connection for in all over the Europe and worldwide. We dream to be the connector of this ecosystem. And it's wonderful that company that help us to create this first part of the project, like Marelli, Leonardo, Whirlpool, and Techniplast, recognize the value of this project and tell us that could have an impact really important on the local area of Varese. What we expected, the expected result of this project are the increase of the competitiveness, but also the increased number of startups, of patents, of youngers, and the attraction of experts, the PhD number rates, and what we are presenting today and what we are asking to you is to join this ecosystem, to bring your ideas for project, your expertise, your knowledge, but also to get benefits from the local in the global connection of this ecosystem. I leave the stage to Huan Xu for the presentation of the Academy. Thank you.
Please. Huan Xu is the second speaker from Fondazione Ergo. Rachele, I didn't mention at the beginning, Rachele is the general manager of the Fondazione, and you see she represents perfectly the style of Fondazione, very quick, you know, the words come out quickly. And Huan Xu follows the tradition of Rachele, so please slow down and don't rush.
Okay. So thank you very much. Just a brief introduction of myself. I'm Huan Xu. I'm the operation manager in Fondazione Ergo, and in the meantime, I'm serving also as PhD candidate at Politecnico di Torino, di Milano for the project of EAWS 2.0. Okay, so before starting introducing what we have done for the moment for, let's say, Smart Valley Academy, I want to spend just a few words, let's say, introducing why we come to the idea of developing an academy. Everything arises from the need, let's say, we've captured to fill a gap of a lack of competences in the workforce. It's not because, okay, people working today in the factory are not competent or skilled enough. It's simply because we're living in an industrial evolution that is unparalleled in the history. Okay, so that it requires a constant improvement or increase of knowledge and skills of the operators, which requires ongoing training and education. So if we're not talking about only, okay, the digital technologies that we already mention every day, but also about the managerial aspects, soft skills, okay, the sustainability, all these topics, which for single companies are very difficult to have in-house training capability to do all this kind of training. So we came up with the idea of creating an academy capable of giving all this necessary training to fill this gap. So to start with, we decided, okay, we wanted to understand which are the most critical or most required, say, job profiles, professionals that the manufacturing industry is asking. So we identified for the moment 4 major professions. The first is the assembly process designer. So it's an engineering role profession who is responsible to translate, let's say, the product design to the manufacturing process. Okay, it is a person that must connect the design of the product to the design of the process. Okay, and they have to define the specification for the process. Okay, and try to build the correct process for making the product. And then we have the second one, is what we call a ergo analyst. So work and ergonomic analyst. It is analyst responsible for to build up the work cycle, okay, but also has the adequate ergonomic, let's say, expertise with him or her. Because with the advent of Industry 5.0, we're concentrating on the human-centered approach. The ergonomics must be integrated and must born together with the design of the product and the design of process. So it's important to have this central figure which transforms the product as a production process to the detailed workstation design and define the detailed work instruction and work cycle. And then we have the third role of production team leader. It's a specialized operative figure having the, let's say, managerial management skills also, okay, who's capable of using the digital technologies, okay, managing the KPIs, okay, leading the day-by-day continuous movement activities in order to achieve the continuous improvement of increasingly higher productivity and efficiency. Last but not least, we have also the health, safety, and environment expert. So of course, we have also the, let's say, the needed ergonomic expertise to help us to carry out the activity. Okay, so the starting point is that we need to understand exactly for each of the four roles what are the required competencies and skills so that we can define a comprehensive training path in order to to enable the participants to acquire the required knowledges. So we have involved different partners. We have institutional partners where we have Confindustria Varese, so the employers, Confederation in Varese, the University of Luca, the Competence Center of Politecnico di Milano. Okay, and then we have also industrial partners where we have Whirlpool, Leonardo, Marelli, Techniplast, and so on. So we work together, okay, to bring the necessity of different parts and try to build up this clear strategy about for each role, which is exactly required competence, and then we try to cross-check with all the, say, potential training courses that would provide them with such competence. So in total, we have defined 46 training courses, okay? And then after defining the training path, we try to define also the tools, instruments that we need in order to carry out the training and also the training material. But one thing that I want to highlight is that we don't want to build something that is only theoretical. We want to build what we call a experiential academy. So a training that is experiential. So the logic is, okay, the participants will do their theoretical and methodological training in the classroom, okay, as usual. And after that, we want that they have the possibility to go and directly touch with their hands the new technologies, the new methodologies, new ideas on something that is physical. So the idea is we want to build also a simulation line where after the training, theoretical trainings, they will go directly to the line and practice whatever they have learned, the new knowledge, new way of working on that line in order to understand better what these new technologies are for. Because unfortunately, it happened in the past that, okay, we show people the new technologies and they say, so what? No, we want to demonstrate that this technology doesn't need for show off, but need to improve the daily work of the operator to give a better working condition, which give also a, let's say, positive feedback to the society because we are generating positive value for the society. Okay, so this is what we have achieved for now. We have developed 46 training courses. They are grouped into 6 different categories. We have digital, ergonomics, of course, also safety included, and then we have managerial, MTM, technology, and WCP, world-class productivity. Okay, for each course, as you can hear, this is just one example. We have defined the duration of the theoretical part and the duration of the experiential part. Of course, we define the content of the training and also the link of simulation that we want to have between different courses. And then we define also the training credits for the for each course, so that upon the completion of the different courses, you will gain some credits, and in total we will have a total credit for the achievement of a recognized profession. Okay, so for the experiential part, what we have done for the moment is we try to we have imagined a simulation line with 5 workstations. So the idea is for each workstation, we want to implement some of the new technologies that we see are promising for the human-centered approach. So for one workstation, we add the visual inspection. For the other, we add a collaborative robot. So we define this line together again with our partners. So upon this line, we try also to, let's say, link with all different courses, which are the part that we could use this line to build the experiential part. Of course, the experiential part is not limited only to this line. We have also the business game part. We have also benchmark visit to some companies on certain topics. Okay. Oh, during let's say the development of the, let's say, all these training courses, we always try to insert or push the message that, okay, the factory nowadays is a clean place, it's a safe place, okay, to work, and it is really a Bella factory. So what we call, let's say, it's a beautiful place to work on. So we want to transmit this positive message because the academy is targeted not only to the already working working operators, so do upskilling, but also to the new people who want to enter in the factory. We want to convince them this is a good way and this is a good place to enter. Okay, with that, I close my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you also for the reduced speed. We have a further speakers coming from the Smart Valley newborn organization. We have now in the program Luca Passoni, virtually present. Ciao, Luca.
Ciao, very happy to be here.
Smart Valley, as I said, is made of 3 main pillars. One is the academy, one is the applied research, and the third pillar, very important, is innovation and technology transfer. This to build this complex pillar, because also technologically it requires complex tools. We are having the collaboration as an investment by the group of Luca from PwC. The group is digital and innovation. So I thank you, Luca, and the whole team for what they are doing pro bono as an investment for this organization. So Luca, explain in a few words the sense of what we are doing together. Please, up to you.
Thank you, Gabriele. Very happy to have the chance to contribute to this event. I think you can actually see my screen. So I want to start from a few considerations. Also building on what Juan said a few minutes ago about the industrial evolution and how does this impact on skills. So first of all, in a rapidly changing world, we see that there is kind of mismatch of qualifications. So I'm pretty sure that many of you have experienced the fact that in some cases we see that employees do not have the right skills to face new challenges, and that is also one of the reasons why with the Smart Factory program we decided to start the academies in order to reduce this gap. On the other side, however, there is also a mismatch which goes on the other way around. So overqualified employee that do not find the right environment to contribute with their actual skills. And this is mostly due to the fact that also companies struggle to keep up with what is really needed on the market, okay? So there is this mismatch, and we will see it later how this can be an issue to be faced with technology transfer and ecosystem management. On the other side, of course, we are trying to cope with this mismatch by improving and increasing the education that we provide to the people that will sooner or later enter the market with their skill. And with this respect, Europe nowadays can count on over 40% of people between 30 and 34 with a university degrees. Not all countries do very good, and in Italy we actually need to speed up a bit on this. Okay, I mean we lag behind. Only roughly less than 27% of people hold a university degree in that age range. So just to sum up, mismatch of skills, not always very high level of education. And on the other side, the constant need of pushing on R&D, because besides skills, another very important aspect that can contribute to create sustainable value in the future is going to be, of course, adoption of new technologies. Rachele was mentioning before the R&D aspect, the R&D pillar of the Smart Valley. That is something that was built in order to support companies in effectively running R&D projects and pushing technology into their operations. So just to sum up this slide, there is the need to support the market in aligning the skills with what is really required, support institution in pushing higher level educations and increase this percentage of people with university degrees in order for them to be able to contribute to the evolution of the market. And we also need to provide sustainable space for research and development in order to develop new technologies and introduce them into the market. Of course, this comes with a cost. Okay, it's very expensive to do that, and that is why we want to build on a pillar which is called ecosystem. We want to make sure that different players within the ecosystem, within the territory that Rachele was mentioning before, can contribute in providing skills, technologies, and can contribute to make clear what is the application areas where these skills and technologies can bring actual value. In our view, we want to make sure that research centers, universities, research group can actually communicate with the market side, so with small, medium enterprises, as well as with large corporate and with professionals, in order to transfer their knowledge and the innovative solution they develop into the market. That is why we have started a strong interaction with those actors that are contributing in the development of skills and technologies, namely Research Center, so Politecnico di Milano, the University of Luca, that was mentioned before by Juan, and with other universities, both part of the Varese territory and of Lombardia more in general, and on the Italian ecosystem, as well as with small companies that are actually providing vertical technologies that can contribute to the overall creation of sustainable value. And what we have done it was to actually map and give a name to these relevant technologies and to those skills that we thought that were actually produced by these actors. Okay, so basically, of course, this was a work that was done also in collaboration with the academies, because of course we want to, make sure that we can actually provide support also in the upskilling and reskilling of people. But it was done in order to provide to those actors providing technology and skills a common language to describe what they could offer. Okay, it was interesting to see that on the Smart Valley territory, out of the 16 key technologies that were actually mapped, 11 of them are very present within and provided by different actors, as well as the skills that are requested and that are very important in the strategic domains of Smart Valley are very present. So there is a strong supply of technology and skills, okay, that we actually found out that is well matched with what is required by the ecosystem, by the companies. Okay, so we investigated that we started to investigate thanks to a strong interaction with the industrial fabric, what are those skills and technologies that are mostly required. And of those 11 that are present on the territory, we already found that most of them are strongly requested by companies, as well as if you look at the skills, 31, if we count 31 skills that are very present in the territory, 24 of them are actually very much needed by those companies. So beside the numbers, I think the very high value of this work has been to find a common language between those actors that were actually contributing in providing skills and technologies and those actors that were actually asking for them. So I bet Gabriele can confirm that it wasn't actually easy, both to get all those actors involved in this ambitious project, but also in finding a common language to allow them to agree on to what was the matter of the discussion. Let me finish to saying that as of today, what we are offering to the companies within the Smart Valley ecosystem is a very structured approach that can support the improvement of the quality of work and productivity through the adoption and exploitation of skills and technologies. So this path starts with a preliminary assessment that basically frame the status of the company and try to understand what is the actual need of the specific company. After this first stage, we usually support the company in setting up a strategic development path. So we define with them the strategy of evolution, and with those information, we match the requirements and the strategy of the company with the ecosystem offering. So with what the ecosystem can actually supply the company with, namely technology and skills, and of course manpower. And starting from this matching, we define a project. So we go down into the details in order to support the deployment and the deployment of those technologies and the leverage of those skills. And thanks also to the whole team, we are today able also to support project execution together with all the partners that are involved in the project. So I think this is a very ambitious project. I mean, as PwC, we are very happy to be part of it because it give us the chance to, on one side, deploy our knowledge and our capabilities in managing complex projects, and of course, it's an opportunity for us to contribute to the growth of local communities, which is also part of our mission. I think with that, I conclude my part, Gabriele. I hope the audio was loud and clear, and of
Perfect.
course,
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you
the
very
audio
much.
was okay. The content more or less was okay.
Okay.
Grazie, Luca. Thank you. Thank you very much. We are perfectly in line with the schedule. 1 minute ahead. So I would use this minute for the changeover, for the setup, because now, we have spent enough time on our ambitious project of Smart Valley, and the next topic will be, we mentioned several times this concept with the good productivity, and to make it possible to sustain this approach, we developed some ideas. I don't want to fall. And one of the idea, or the main idea, is the development of a productivity management platform. And you will see that into the platform, to enable the platform, we have developed a digital asset, which today exists. It is running, and for this reason, I asked Juan to use this computer and open the application and show how it works and what are the benefit. In the meantime, I see that the changeover is getting more and more complex. Looking for the cable. Okay. Again, take it easy. Not too fast. We are perfectly in time. If you save 5 or 10 minutes, we are very great and thankful, because we have an interesting discussion following.
Okay, perfect. So good afternoon again. Yeah, it's good to be back on stage. So now we're changing topic. We're talking about the productive management platform. Okay, so I will start with introducing the story and the background of the development of this, let's say, this platform. So one of the, let's say, the finance controller of our client asked us to support them, okay, in the try to, let's say, precisely capture the benefit of the continuous improvement activities, okay, and try to consolidate them, let's say, with a certain accuracy on their product, the profit and loss statement. Okay, this is something that not happened only to them, because during these years we saw the similar situation that happens to many different industrial sectors, different organizations. Okay, because one of the, let's say, the difficulty is that they find it very difficult to combine or to capture whatever benefit that comes out from the daily continuous improvement activities, the let's say the projects that they bring. Okay, they declare that, okay, finishing this project, I have a certain amount of benefit. Okay, and accumulating them at the end of the year, we don't find exactly the same number on our, say, profit and loss statement. So there's something that is not clear. We have to understand why this happens. Okay, so mostly it is because that we don't have a very clear labor standard definition measurement, okay, which allows us to clearly define which are really the benefit that we can obtain, okay, and find a, say, very well structured scientific way of measuring these benefits and try to correlate them with what actually happens after. Because on paper, I can declare that I have achieved certain benefit, but in the reality, I have to look at what actually happened and try to consolidate all the information. So about the labor, where actually they went, where are they working. So all these benefits must be calculated. We have to have a closed circle calculation to be sure that whatever benefit we declared is really obtained. So the purpose of the objective of PMB is to have a consistency between the high level financial results and with the manufacturing level productivity related measurement, because we want that every day we measure something and this something is really what happened, not something that I gather from somewhere, probably declared by the team leader and then modified somehow somewhere, okay, and then we don't understand anymore what actually happened. We want something that is precise, that is, if possible, say automatically collected and automatically generate and calculate the real situation of our productivity. Okay, so if we are able to gather all these informations, if we have a firm standard which tells me this is what should happen according to our standard and this is what actually happened, the differences will be actually captured and calculated at a daily, shiftly, even hourly base, so that we have something that is really, say, non-biased, okay, and we can have really a direct link between the benefit that we obtain every day to the monthly, yearly, decadally, really financial results. Of course, in order to have this this potential, we also want to build a let's say a dashboard, so that from the middle let's say the shop floor management to the middle management to the top management, whenever they want, they can just enter into this dashboard, so they can they can monitor almost at real time what is happening in the shop floor. Okay, so in order to achieve that, we have designed this architecture, okay, which is quite representative for a labor-intensive manufacturing process. Okay, we have 3 main information flows. Okay, so the first one is a standard time and balancing, line balancing flow. This is where we calculate the standard time necessary to carry out a certain work. Here, I just want to jump one slide to get into a little bit detail. So to say, okay, this is what we do nowadays with MTM, Ergo MTM approach. So with Tycon, we do our MTM analysis, we do our EAWS analysis, okay, and then we calculate the EAS scores in order to calculate ergonomic allowance, and then we build up our line balancing. But there's something more that we can get from this analysis. For each of the time elements that we find here, we have also the information related to what is actually needed for the operator to carry out. We have the information about how many workstation is needed for a certain product. Okay, we have also the information that is around the working process, the information about ergonomics, okay, information about the weight of some objects. So the idea is that we want to use all this information and we build up what is the required skills and performances, so in terms of ergonomic loads, in order to produce one product. The second flow is what we call presence management and production scheduling. So here we start with a worker master data. Of course, here we have inside the what we call skill matrix. So information about both if the operator is well educated, is familiar enough of working on the specific workstation for a specific product. Also about the information of some technical skills, for example, the possibility to use welding guns with a specific certification. So all this information related to the skill of the operator. And then, of course, we have the information of the limit, some potential physical limitations, because we do have some operators who have some physical limitations that we have to take into consideration in our daily, say, allocation of the operator. And then we have the presence management. We need to know beforehand which, for each day, which or who will be the operators that will be present, so that I can manage the allocation of the operator on the right production slot at the right time. And then, of course, we have the scheduling of the product. So now I know every day what should I produce at a certain time. So the part of presence management and production scheduling, combining this information gives us the offer of the skills and the performance. So combining the offers and the required skills and performance, we try to do the matching, okay, and we try to allocate the correct operator to the correct workstation at the correct time, okay. And then, of course, we have the third part of production and data losses collection. And in this case, okay, I planned perfectly that today I want to produce first this SKU and then another SKU, okay, with these people and the other people. As people say, unfortunately, something happened, okay, I changed my plan, something changed. So I need to track exactly what happened, okay. I need to know exactly when whatever people, okay, I have 100 people which enters into my factory, they are allocated to certain lines. We want to understand exactly what they did, which product they produced, okay, so that I can have a very clear, okay, precise calculation of whether they were really generating value-added activities, or unfortunately, due to our, let's say, managerial, let's say, inefficiency, they are not generating any value for our client. So we gather all these informations. Of course, here we have the integration with existing technology systems, for example, for math, okay, for collecting the information. If we don't have it, we can, of course, we have the interface to manually insert the information related to the losses or the justification of certain losses. Okay, so gathering the information between, the standard time, what I plan to produce and what am I producing, so the real data of the day. I put everything into my PMP data lake. I push this information to the KPI monitoring and to the efficiency and value-added, non-value-added analysis. Okay. In this case, at the end of each working shift, okay, I've already got my information. Of course, something must be adjusted because abnormally it always happens, and some small, for example, some small stoppages has to be understood why it stops, because probably it's an operator who pressed a button, okay, and of course, unfortunately, there is no, let's say, automatic system that can tell us what happened. So this kind of information must be inputted manually, but the logic is that we want, say, as much as possible, gather this information and also give the feedback to the shop floor managers to understand as soon as possible what happened and try to see if there's any trend or if there's already some countermeasure that we can attack these losses. And then with the KPI, we have our own structure of world-class productivity KPIs that we deployed into different OPI, operational performance indicators, which tracks precisely what happens to the people, what happens to the machine, what is the managerial losses, what are the methodology losses. So we try to be very clear about where should I allocate this loss, not mixing with other things. And then this information will be transferred to our ERP for the financial results information. And then we have, in the case of lean implementation, we bring all the information of the losses to the cost deployment, the cost and benefit deployment, in order to quantify, prioritize my losses, and try to come up with new projects to attack these losses. Okay, so I talked about the architecture, what we want to achieve, and here we have this tool, digital tool, we call Efficiency and Ergonomics Assistant. Okay, it is a digital application, okay, enabling the power of the productivity management platform. Okay, so it is. I'm going to show in the live demo the functionality of this platform. And I will we'll show this 4, let's say, macro areas, starting from the allocation. Okay, so how do I allocate a certain operator to a specific workstation? And then how do I manage my attendance or presence planning? And then, of course, at the end of the day, I will try to verify and monitor my real balance presence situation and daily adjustment of the anomalies. And then I will show the dashboard that shows the, let's say, how did I do for each day, each shift, for each line, of course. So here I will jump to our software. Hopefully it's still connected. No. Come faccio cambiare? Okay. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So this is the first part of worker allocation. So, as you can see, this is the interface, it's a dashboard that the shop floor manager will see and will manage every day. So I'm entering as a shop floor manager, a team leader, okay, a supervisor. I have different sections here. So the first one is employee attendance, then employee allocation, and presence variations, okay, some presence anomalies, okay, and then we have the operator request. Let's start with the employee attendance. This is a picture, or this is a dashboard which tells me who are all the operators that are present physically today in my factory, in my area. And here I have, in this case, we have 3 operators which are absent. Okay. If we click on this, on the operator, we see that, okay, he's absent for the whole day. And here we have also, let's say, a view of the future absence. So I can, okay, monitor what happened. It could be because that he's absent for illness, for example. So the logic that, okay, we have the second session for managing the presence, but in this case, we know exactly if an operator is present or not for each day. And here we also have a particular situation of partial absence. So the operator is absent from 13 to 14 today. Okay. With this information in hand, what I would do is to every day I would do the, let's say, the operator allocation. So this is a page where I manage the allocation of operators. Well, in my case, I have 3 lines. Okay, I'm now concentrating on this first line, okay, Minevra. Okay, here are all the production schedules, let's say the production sequences that I need to produce today. So if I click on one of the production sequence, we can see that we do have here all the information about the SKU of the, let's say, of the specific product, which is the balancing that is associated with this specific product. Of course, these are all the informations that we get from Tycoon. Okay, so here we have the link between Tycoon and our platform. And then I know exactly which are the workstations, okay? So if I enter, for example, in this case, I enter into the first workstation, I can manage allocation. In this case, the system will tell me automatically which are the, let's say, idle or the optimum operators that could work on this workstation. Of course, now here, when I click, I saw immediately the result. But there's a logic behind, because the system will check on 3 aspects. The first is, of course, whether this certain operator is present or not in that certain time period. Okay. The second is whether the operator is having the adequate skill to work on that workstation for that specific product. And the third is whether the operator has some physical limitations, okay, that for whatever reason cannot work on this workstation for that product. Remember that I mentioned from Tycoon analysis, we import a lot of the information. It's not only about the time, the standard time, but also the information about ergonomic scores. So in this case, we try to translate the physical limitations into ergonomic scores, so that if an operator is having a particular problem of back, so I will do and check the ergonomic score for that specific session, so that this operator for this specific job will not be present because of physical limitation. Okay, so whatever we see is already the result of all these checks. So I'm sure that today this operator is capable of working on that workstation. So I can just click, and then I can allocate this operator. Now you see that the first workstation is already assigned to that specific operator. Of course, I don't do this kind of manual allocation one by one, because normally for a certain product, for a certain balancing, I would have a kind of default operator that works more or less always in that workstation for that working for that specific balancing. So what I can do is I can click here, apply default allocation. So here for this balancing, I have this default allocation. I can just apply my default allocation. So here I can see for each workstation, which is the default operator. Of course, this default was based on previous check, the first initial allocation that I have checked already, who is eligible to work on that workstation. I can just confirm. Okay. Once I confirm the allocation, you can see this line, for this production batch, it used to be yellow like the second one. Now it becomes green, which means now I'm okay. So every workstation is covered by the correct operator. And then I do the same thing for a second. Voila. Okay, so for all the production sequence of the day, everything is green. So also here we don't have any more the warning sign telling me that pay attention, there is something wrong. Someone for whatever reason probably cannot work on that workstation. In this case, I know that everyone has come, everyone has correct, let's say, capability, skills to work on that workstation. So I'm fine. I can go on with the production. Okay. Then just a sec. I will go to, this is for the first one for worker allocation. And then let me show you the second part for worker attendance planning. So what happened is that, okay, now today I'm okay, everything is good. Sorry for jumping between two different, okay. Okay, today I'm good with my production. And at a certain time, one operator come to me and ask me for permission because tomorrow I will do, I don't know, a blood donation. Okay, so unfortunately from 3 o'clock, from, I don't know, 13 o'clock to 15 o'clock, I wouldn't be there. In that case, I can enter here. Here is a session where I can manage all my presence variations. So the operator came to me and tell me, okay, unfortunately, tomorrow I won't be there. So, okay, I will enter here. I choose the correct date. It's today or tomorrow. Okay, and then I say, okay, I know the situation. I know the production scheduling. Okay, I can just add. I can create a new variation. I don't know. Let's take one operator. No, let's go this way. Okay. Let's go probably for tomorrow. So looks more realistic. Okay. So tomorrow, one operator, I don't know, let's take him, asked me that I need to be partially absent. Okay. So here I have the possibility to choose between full absent, pre-authorization of extra hour because I know that I have some production problem or some extra training, whatever. So I can predefine a say extra time or a partial transfer to another line, okay, to another cost center. I can, in my case, example that I made up, partially absent. Okay, so I choose that he's partially absent, and then of course here I have different reasons for why I would be partially absent. This is just one example from one company that we have implemented it. And let's choose blood donation, for example. So here I have the information about his scheduled work shift. So from 8 to 17, I can insert here that, okay, from 13:00 up to 14. Okay, I insert this new variation, system will save it. Okay, I saw it here. And then I come to here, I saw that there is one error, okay? Because here I saw that if I go and click, I saw that first workstation is not anymore green because this operator had some issues so that for that day, for that specific time, he won't be present. So what I do is I can click and the system will automatically propose me a potential substitution, okay? So I click on it. So I substitute it with, let's say, eligible operator, and then I'm back to normal again. Of course, here we have also the possibility to connect to for example, in Italy, we have the national, say, safety working institution that whenever I have a sickness, I go to the doctor and the doctor will somehow send automatic his information. So the company can receive this information. And then, of course, in the presence management part, I will receive a notice telling me that for that day, certain operator wouldn't be present. Okay, and then I have the part for this one. Probably it would be faster. So I have the presence tracking and notification. So at the end of each shift, let's take it, for example, yesterday. Okay. I have some anomalies. I saw that, for example, one operator is having unplanned early exit. So he exited the factory earlier than he's supposed to. And here we have some entry delay. So instead of entering at 8 o'clock, she entered at 8:07. Okay, here I have the possibility to confirm that it is correct, okay, or to reject. For example, I have here also unauthorized overtime. So this operator is having 31 minutes of overtime, which was not planned by the system, but it could happen that I, as team leader at the last minute, decide for a production problem. I ask him to do an extra hour. Okay, so I can immediately after every shift receive all these anomalies and try to justify them. Okay, and this information will also be sent to the HR so that they will have updated, correct presence situation. Yeah, and the last one is a dashboard for the KPI. Okay, for the dashboard of KPI, we have here. We can choose the plant. Okay, let's choose, for example, yesterday. Okay, I choose my plant, my line. So here I can see all the indicators, what happens for yesterday. So I have a labor performance of 99%, first pass yield of 87% whatsoever. And then I can do also a comparison. So let's say if we take first pass yield, I want to compare what happens in my line with respect to the other line. Okay, here I see a trend of the let's say in this case, the first pass yield between the two lines. And then of course I can also cross check, okay, for one specific line, the two indicators they are correlated or whatever. So I have the full control of what happened in my factory. Okay. Okay. Now I finished my demo. Thank you very much.
Grande, grande.
Okay.
Bravo, Juan.
Yes.
I know that it was hard to follow Juan because the topic is complex. So, but I hope that at least we gave the sense of what we are doing and what we will do in the future, because more and more the artificial intelligence will be embedded into this application. This is the EAWS International Summit. So EAWS is at the center of our core, and so we reserved one spot to give you a highlight, a flash on what is happening with the EAWS 2.0 project. And for this, I ask Manuela to give us a summary, please, Manuela. And it's up to you.
Thank you. It's an honor for me to give you an information about the EAWS 2.0 project. We start to improve the EAWS topic because of the point that we now have a different situation on the systems and in the work, daily work, because of the digitalization. And in this case, we need also an update to the EAWS system at all to implement all these influencing factors in the work situation. So why we start with this project? To improve the EAWS structure to a better adapt digital application in the planning phase to reach a high productivity with lower ergonomic risk. How would we do this? We transform the EAWS structure to improve its capability to drive method design and to reduce ergonomic risk from the earliest product and process design stage. How would we do this? We sharpen the definitions and application rules to ease the digitization process of ergonomic assessment. Integrate. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Integrate relevant influencing factors to make EAWS the global world-class ergonomic standard for any cyclical industrial type of manual work. That was the starting position why we start to think about what could happen and what has to be done to get EAWS for the new upcoming situation in the work design. So the project needs a roadmap, so what should be done when and with which content. And in this case, we started the project in March 2000 and this year in March. And the starting point was the current version, the EAWS 1.3.6. Our first steps, together with Rachele and the project team, we create a project plan and work out the work packages, what we want to work on in the first steps, and what is then the next step to create a EAWS 2.0. As you can imagine, if you know the EAWS system, this is not so easy because the system at all is very complex, because we get a complete surrounding innovation and we want to have a good product at the end who fits with the new incoming influencing factors from the digital world and also from the reality. So we created first work packages, and this was here the development concept. And then we start already. So Huan did a good job up to this moment. We had a few work packages already declared, and finally, more or less finally done the work. And after this, we named this line to the ISO standard, but there is more than just the ISO standard. It's also how the curves is working for, and the transparency and all these things included in this one point. After this work has been done, we will have a current version, which is just a working version. That is not an official released version for the EAWS, but the basic for the next steps to evaluate and produce EAWS 2.0. We need first a basis to do this. So this is the intermediate version we are working on at the moment, and we hope we can finish these work packages this year or closely in the beginning of next year to start to work on the screening method for the EAWS 2.0. The work tasks are represented here in this slide. We have the left things for the first, coming from the basic 1.3.6, and we clarify what kind of issues or what kind of problems comes from the reality, from the users, and how can we fix this in the first step for the intermediate version. And then with this intermediate version, we come to the 2.0 to work on for the digitalization and to involve better the systems we get at the moment from the working part. Who works or is involved in this project? You see in this slide, and the most of you know this already because this is an existing system environment. We have the stakeholders, that's the users, and the users are mostly together in the user groups. We give the feedback to the operation management with Fabrizio Caruso, and then he reports to the technical board, and the scientific committee will get then to the results and give in these feedback loops the feedback, and if there is needed the change. The tickets are placed in a database, so we get this in a documentation and this is a known process that's already existing, and we work with this in the project organization. That means this feedbacks coming from the stakeholders gets in the project. So we have all your feedbacks and work with these feedbacks in core teams. I don't want to explain who is working in person there because of the time, but there are experts for the method, expert from the working situation, So that means from the partners and also the research experts from the universities. And this project team works on the work packages and also on the EAWS 2.0, represents in feedback loops to the steering committee in normally 3 months periods, and then we go forward and forward to the single steps. During this action, we will have also a communication to the development team for software productions and also for the academy, so for the training development, so that they can start immediately or short after the official release for the EAWS 2.0 with the trainings and also with the software products. In this case, that was from my side. I hope I get.
Perfetto. Congratulations. Oh, thank you, Manuela. So the last step, the last fatigue for you is, you know, to attend an interesting panel discussion. You know, I'm involved in the standardization work in Italy and represent Italy in as an expert in the ISO SEN working groups, and I wanted to, you know, organize a panel discussion on the topic of standardization, which is a very relevant topic affecting all of us, you know, industries, workers, the standardization bodies, medical doctors, research. So for this reason, I try to invite to this panel very relevant persons, expert, and one of them is here in presence. So Allied Ringerberg, please take a seat on the stage. We have in this discussion available also.
This is a bit high for me. Or do you have there an?
There are the
okay.
stairs.
Thank you. Yeah.
And of course, I will help you.
I missed some time in the Netherlands in an important at an important moment. So I'm happy with your nice stairs. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lai.
May I?
Where do you want?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. And then we should have connected,
yes.
Hopefully, you know, if the
yes.
technique helps us, we have connected Professor Francesco Violante.
Yes.
Francesco Violante is a professor from the University of Bologna. And maybe if you want to give a short introduction of yourself, because I was.
I like to do so,
yeah.
but I see two persons already on screen. So I think to know that they are there.
Francesco Violante from Bologna University. I will ask you in 10 seconds to introduce yourself, and Rolf Ellegast, you know, from Germany. So it is an Italian, German, and
a little bit
so European.
Of course, I will do
European panel. So if you agree, I would start from the lady, you know, first. And Allied, can you introduce yourself briefly, please?
Yes, I will do so. Thank you very much, Gabriele, for organizing and for bringing me so into contact with the MTM world and what is going on. I'm during longer years already convener of international and European working group on standardization, especially for biomechanics and human physical performance. And this is very interesting work to do. My background is medical doctor, and in the group we have the different from praxis and also mainly from science and from occupational health and engineers in the group. So finding the good way to interact is my job, to try to get good solutions. It's not always easy, but we are still going on. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
So Allied is one of my many bosses because I am a member of a working group and she's the convener. So going now in following the age logic, I would ask Francesco to introduce yourself.
Okay, so as starting with my age, I am a medical doctor too. I am professor of occupational medicine at the University of Bologna, and I have many years of research, mainly in the field of musculoskeletal diseases and application of ergonomics. Our focus in my research group is how we can preserve the health of the workers until late in the working life, and at the same time to have a pleasant experience of work by the workers, and of course increasing the productivity of the workers. So we are trying to put together all these things.
Thank you, Francesco. And indeed, if you have seen in the EAWS platform, Francesco plays a role, has a seat in our scientific committee. And last but not least, another boss. Yes, I have many bosses here, but except Rolf. Thank you, Rolf, for being with us. So please introduce yourself.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Gabriele, for the invitation and also the possibility to participate in the EAWS symposium. So my name is Rolf Ellegast. I'm Deputy Director of the IFA, which is the Institute for Occupational Health and Safety of the German Accident Insurance in St. Augustin near Bonn. My background is physicist and mathematician, and I'm professor at the University of Koblenz in the area of techniques and mathematics. And well, I worked for several years also in the topic of MSD prevention, and mainly in the topic of assessment, risk assessment, and developing inertial sensor system and biomechanical models.
Thank you, Rolf. I'm glad that you are not a medical doctor, so that we get even here.
You are right on that. Yes, I agree.
So I prepared a couple of questions for each of you. So I will go, in a round robin table. Of course, we have a limited time, so we have approximately, I would say, 3-4 minutes for each answer. Even if I'm aware that the topic is complex. I will start from you, my dear friend. Right? The first question is the following. It's not a question, actually. It's a statement. In contemplating the diverse interests of stakeholders encompassing employers, employees, insurance entities, and the scientific research community, basically all the stakeholders, it becomes pertinent to elucidate, to explain the anticipated contributions of ISO and SEN standards in mitigating the risks associated with work-related musculoskeletal disorders. What is your opinion?
Yes, the question, it's a statement. For me, it is still very important to prevent what you can prevent, because if people get musculoskeletal disorders, or this is of course for all risks at the work floor, but also risks for consumers, where we can organize prevention, we should do as much as possible. Standardization can play a role in that, and yeah, I think it is very important to renew standards. Last week I had the honor to be in Brussels, organized workshop by the European Commission concerning the European standard on manual handling. I gave a presentation there, and they are looking forward how to introduce more diversity in the standards. So that's from the point of the human, not only looking at groups of male, but also female workers. And our standard from 2008 already included somehow diversity. So that's important. And I think it is important to renew. That's the task we have at the moment.
Very hard task.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you, Laida. And you know, going to Francesco, still, you know, considering the ISO and SEN standards, you know, it is essential to delineate the most appropriate procedure for the development of international standards. I know that a few months ago there was an exchange of ideas between you and your team of experts, medical doctors, and us in ISO. Can you elaborate what is your position now?
Yeah, let me say that standards, technical standards are, of course, very, very important in our life. A lot of things are produced according to technical standard, and they are really essential. Now, coming to the standards in ergonomics, ISO has taken 20 years ago a quite new approach because ergonomic standards are not only standard to be followed to do something like an ergonomic assessment, but they include also an additional thing which ISO has never covered. So that is namely exposure limits. So this is very important because when you establish an exposure limit, you are establishing something which is health related. So you need to have a general agreement about these issues. And general agreement, according to the many things must be taken into consideration about risk assessment, is very, very difficult. So I think that it is very relevant to have some, I call them ergonomic standard. So technical standards which are dealing with how to do a proper ergonomic assessment. But the issue of health limits should be considered still an issue which is reserved to governmental bodies or scientific societies. For example, as far as I know, at an international level, we use ACGIH standard for chemical or physical agents. Our German friends have a very detailed list of German occupational health limits. The people in UK has other lists, and in other countries they have other lists. So this is an issue. I think that when you go from how we do this, which is the subject of the technical standard, to an issue like the risk assessment and health-based risk, there is something which should be done absolutely, and it is involve scientific societies and involve also governmental bodies, because these issues are sensitive in that they also entail responsibility, for example, of employers and things like that. So the way in which you produce a technical standard which could go into the risk assessment and establishing a limit of exposure should involve a very important presence of scientific bodies, and these are the international scientific societies. And of course, you also touch upon something which is related to governmental activities, such as, for example, at European level, we have a lot of exposure limits, not in the ergonomic field, but in chemical and physical agents, which are contained into European directives. So you have to, the technical group, the technical committee should also work with international scientific societies and governmental bodies.
Thank you, Francesco, for your opinion. Very, very important. And we keep on, of course, then if we have comments from the attendees and from the ones connected, we try, within the time limits we have to answer. Rolf, the first question from you is, from your perspective, have you observed any significant changes in the incidence of occupational diseases related to work-related musculoskeletal stress in Germany over the past 2 decades?
Yes, I shared my screen to show you 2 slides of and give an overview of the MSD-related occupational diseases in Germany and to show you some figures. So in Germany, we have a list of occupational diseases that is introduced by a board of occupational medicines and epidemiologists. And concerning the musculoskeletal system, all body areas are affected. You see the upper limb spinal occupational diseases and lower limb occupational diseases, the main occupational diseases in Germany. And we have this 4-digit code, which starts with 21 in Germany. These are related to the musculoskeletal system. And we have for the upper limb, for example, tendon sheaths, muscular tendinous insertions, because of repetitive work and force application in manual material or production lines. We have also hand-arm vibration related wrist diseases and disorders. That's the 2103. Carpal tunnel syndrome was introduced in Germany in 2013. And very new, there is not a number net, the lesion of the rotator cuff of the shoulder. It was introduced last year because of working above shoulder level, handling of loads, hand-arm vibration, and very repetitive work concerning the shoulder joint. Spinal occupational diseases, we have disc-related diseases that are in the lumbar spine related to manual materials handling, working in awkward trunk postures, but also related to whole body vibration. And we have it in the cervical spine, that's the 2109, related to handling loads on the shoulder. And lower limb meniscus lesion, knee osteoarthritis, and very new since 2020, hip osteoarthritis. And here are some figures. In the next slide, I can show you only the most interesting figures. For the wrist, for example, we have a nearly constant development. You see it here, the 2101 and 2103. We have about in that area 600 to 700 suspicion cases, not accepted cases, and for the hand-arm vibration about 400. But there is an increase in especially lumbar spinal diseases, which is 2108 and 2110, in the last year up to approximately 7,000 or 8,000 cases a year. The 2110, which is according to whole body vibration, is nearly constant. And there is an increase of knee osteoarthritis. You can see it here. And you see here there are some blanks in this table. That's the reason is that these occupational diseases are already introduced in the last years. For example, the hip osteoarthritis was introduced in 2020. So we got an increasing number of occupational diseases concerning the musculoskeletal system. The numbers are very constant. Although we have a more digitized work where some are discussing that we do not have this manual labor anymore, you can't see it with the figures of occupational diseases. So prevention of the musculoskeletal systems in all areas is still very interesting for us as an accident insurance. And so we are working intensively to improve risk assessment methods that are combined to this risk factors of the shown occupational diseases.
Excellent, Rolf. Thank you very much. Very relevant to see some figures, which gives the idea of the level of importance and impact on the business, on the cost. So thanks again. And coming back to you, Allied, coming back on these standards, standardization, the existence of disparate regulations and legislations, particularly concerning the industrial ergonomics within the European Union, presents the dangerous prospect of fostering a competitive imbalance. In light of this concern, what recommendations can be preferred to national regulatory authorities to avert the potential repercussions of this divergence?
I like to give a reaction on that, and also to Professor Francesco. At the moment, we do have European legislation on manual handling that is general, that has no specifications but gives guidance. That's one. And on the other hand, we do have the European mandate from the European Commission for machinery regulation. Was the machinery directive related physical load and manual handling? So there is some guidance. Harmonized standards are not is not an obligation to use, but machinery designers and they may make use of the harmonized standards we have developed, and then it gives them a presumption of conformity. So there is some kind of common basis in Europe. Then there is ISO. For most countries, ISO, coming back to what I said, there is no obligation in most of the European and international countries filling in with risk assessments, and the risk assessment procedure in it is obliged, but the outcome and having grenswerte, wie sagt man, the thresholds and really like for chemicals have a bottom line is not available at the moment in Europe and not international, apart from an ILO, how should I say, an ILO perspective or decision, an ILO decision from, I think, 1960. So new developments could be done to get more harmonized levels concerning manual handling, concerning pushing and pulling. But at the moment, I think guidance and standardization is the most what we can reach. There are little member states or no member states in Europe who want really to put legal thresholds, really guidelines. So that's the situation. Coming back to the point of cooperation with scientific organizations, I think that is very important. The technical committee ergonomics that from SEN and ISO both work together with the International Ergonomics Association. The chair of the International Ergonomics Association was also recently in Berlin, where was the TC meeting, and I was there too. So it is interesting. There is really the need and the willingness to have more cooperation. But still, standardization from ISO, SEN and from DIN, it is an open system. Everyone, every expert, every professional organization can take part in standardization. So it's only a matter of finding time and money to be a participant in standardization activities from DIN, from SEN, from ISO. And that's also, of course, related when I look at Italy stepping in from UNI and then also being active in the system as you are, Gabriele, and also our other colleagues from Italy. It's important to exchange and to do this work, but we need new activities, new people, helping with making new steps.
Yeah, thank you. I fully agree. And Francesco, for you, you are from Italy, so from an unlucky country where these standards are relevant also by law. And, but apart from Italy, in general, in the contemporary landscape, a notable disparity often exists between ergonomic design models and risk measurement systems. The pertinent question arises, can contemporary technology play a pivotal role in bridging the gap?
Well, let me say that we hope that new technology, which is increasingly being available, will help to achieve big improvement in this. I mean, to fill the gap between ergonomic design model and risk measurement system. The best way would be, for example, as we have learned during this symposium, to have ergonomics data and ergonomics knowledge embedded into system for organizing work, because that would be absolutely better. What I have to say is that our way of investigating biomechanical risk so far is mainly observational. And we know that human beings are not very good observers. And that is something that we already know. You put two people in to see something, and we have a joke that we have, especially about doctors, that we say that on a single issue, two doctors have at least 3 different opinions. So this is just because we are human beings. So observing, it's good, but we are not so good at that. So measuring is much better. And the technology now is on the edge of giving us a new way of measuring forces, new way of measuring movements, and a new way of measuring almost every parameter which is important for to make a good assessment of biomechanical risk in the workplace. So we only have to switch from observing to measuring, and the sooner we do that, the better.
Thank you, Francesco. What you say is, embedded in our industrial engineers' life, especially here in this context. We MTM experts, we know how important it is to kill the applicator deviation. We can embed the system deviation and measure the system deviation into the algorithm we use to calculate the risk. And once we know that and we accept, then we should focus on the applicator deviation. And for sure, a way to limit the applicator deviation is to apply a process which is repeatable and does not introduce further bias in our measures. Thank you. Last question for you, Rolf. Could you provide insights into the criteria used to determine the acceptability of occupational diseases related to musculoskeletal system within manufacturing facilities in Germany? Are these criteria integrated into preventive measures?
Yes, again, it's easier for me to show you some slides that I've prepared. Hopefully you can see it. take out two examples. I'm starting with the lower limb, knee osteoarthritis and meniscus lesions. We have some occupational diseases that have quantitative criteria and some not. So meniscus lesions does not have quantitative criteria. It's just said permanent awkward lower limb posture, especially squatting or kneeling, while simultaneously application of force. But knee osteoarthritis, there are quantitative criteria that are derived from epidemiological studies. In Germany, we have a minimum of exposure time spending in these awkward kneeling postures of 1 hour a shift, and then cumulative exposure duration of 13,000 hours. Another example is for the lumbar spine. We had a big so-called German spine study in Germany, epidemiological study. Here we use biomechanical modeling for this occupational disease 2108 that deals with carrying of heavy loads in frequent work in extreme trunk bending postures. So we are calculating with a model the compressive forces at the lumbar spine. And here we have for men and women different criteria. For men, for each situation, a threshold of 2.7 kilonewtons. We used to have a minimum daily dose that was skipped in the discussion within the last years. And we have now a minimum lifetime dose of 12.5 meganewton hours. For women, there are lower values of 2.5 kilonewtons and a minimum life dose of 8.5 meganewton hours. And to bring these values now to our prevention work, again, some slides, you might know this MEGAFIS project, where we tried in Germany between 2016 and 19, I think, to bring together the world of the observational methods, where you have a look at workload types, like lifting, carrying, pushing, pulling, like the systematic of the EAWS, and about the body regional, because the occupational diseases are disorders and diseases in body regions. And we aimed at having a common risk category system with 4 risk categories that you can see here. That was a first start to develop common assessment tools. And the accident insurance comes from the inertial sensor world. Since several decades, since more than 20 years, we are using inertial sensors with this so-called QELA system to continuously measuring at workplaces the exposure, biomechanical and physiological exposures. And then we are calculating risk for body regions. And with this system now, that is very good in line with that what you are working on right now, is a system that gives you a risk assessment for a workday, a typical workday with these 4 categorizations that you can say the cervical spine is in this 4 category green, green up to yellow, yellow up to red. And all the body regions are then assessed. So that's very in line what I heard today about the EAWS 2.0. And the occupational disease is always in this red area. And that's a combination. We also look at the other areas. And we have now established an assessment tool for body region related risk assessment. And that is used from the labor inspectors, and we are gathering the data also in exposure databases here and are dealing with the data not only in occupational disease cases, also for prevention and in intervention studies.
Excellent, Rob. Thank you very much. I am amazed, to see every time we meet different people, different organizations, to see how much knowledge we have in the world. And, for this, I think it's really important to carry on to develop projects like the SMARTT Valley we mentioned earlier, to build an ecosystem where all the parts or the parties with knowledge can share the knowledge and, work together to achieve even better and more ambitious results. So you are in my target now, Rolf, because in the EAWS 2.0, we will catch you.
Yes.
I think you can give us a contribution.
Yes, of course.
More or less, yes. But
yes.
for sure, if you are available, I will knock your door.
Of course.
So we can, create even a larger team. I'm in contact with Matthias Jäger here in Germany.
Yeah, I know him very well.
The expert for the lumbar spine. We have Francesco Violante, and of course I keep my colleagues in the ISO group informed, and I'm trying to involve also some of them, like Bob Fox from US. We need expertise from all the countries, from all the different type of experiences and knowledge to produce such an ambitious tool.
Sure, I see also for the standardization work, very important aspects and new research data we should have known already, I think, Rolf, but yeah, that is connecting. That's connecting again, and that's why we are here. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, a call for action we should make every time is to invite the experts and the industries to participate in our groups, because our groups need research skills, but also application experience, knowledge of the industry, knowledge of the processes. I can bring a slice of a portion of the knowledge, which is the application side. They can bring research experience and data. We have to put together these kind of things to produce excellent results. Otherwise, it's just theory. I don't know if there are questions from the numerous audience we have, maybe not in this room, but connected remotely. We self-generated some questions in this team, so maybe we have already covered a lot of aspects. And from my side, I would continue this discussion for hours, because I from your answers I got a lot of inputs, and I would have a lot of comments to discuss with you. But for the time being, I thank you very much for being here. Allied, or even in person, but of course also you, Francesco and Rolf, for your participation. I appreciate very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
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 It's your turn now. You have to work. It's not over yet.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay.